When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Oh, Mr. Gecko, is it true what they say about Geico's emergency roadside service?
I'll own up to it. Yes, it's all true.
You mean to say Geico's emergency roadside service really is 24/7?
And it's available on the phone or app. It's all part of getting more with Geico. I don't mean to be rude, but could I scooch past you all? You're standing in the way of my yoga class.
One more, Mr. Gecko, the fans must know. Why yoga?
Well, it helps with my posture. It's my back. It ain't what it used to be.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
Things today can seem kind of unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For Total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
We believe everyone deserves access to fresh food. That's why the Kroger Company created the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste program to share fresh food with the people in our communities. Our program and foundations have donated 3 billion meals since 2017. That's nearly 10 meals for every person in the U.S. Together, we can do more for our neighbors. Just round up your purchase at checkout. Fries, fresh for everyone.
Every day begins with the promise of something new. A new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA in a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout and more. Event not recommended for children under 13.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
I'm wondering where we should start today's program. Welcome in, Tuesday edition, the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan is behind the glass. He's ready to take your phone calls, 480-864-1060. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. You can watch the show over there. Conflicted to start this program. Do I hit the daily special and we talk about the baseball team? Do I hit the daily special and we talk about the football game last night? These are the new decisions that we have to make now with football being back in our lives. Game last night, nothing to do with the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe if you're trying to think ahead and plot a path for the Cardinals to be a wild card team, the Bears losing last night maybe helps in that pursuit. Way too early.
Does that help, or would you rather have had the Vikings? Now we're having a crazy conversation. It's week one.
It's week one. We can't have that conversation, so I don't know what to do. I am going to hit the button. The big voice guy is going to say the top story, and then we're going to decide together where we start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I think it just has to be the baseball team because it requires me to say my bad. My bad for bringing it up yesterday that we should be scoreboard watching again. My bad for assuming that this team could potentially give us maybe a couple of days of fun. That's on me. I'll take responsibility for it because you got every other result you needed yesterday. The Mets lost. The Reds lost. The Cardinals lost. All you had to do was beat the Giants. Would have been a clean sweep of a day for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they would have been right in the position that we said yesterday they could have been in. First team on the outside looking in of the New York Mets for the third and final wild card spot. But you know what last night reminds you? Reminds you of why this team was sellers at the deadline. It reminds you of why this team is hovering around 500. This team can never get something started. Last night is no different from what we've seen from this team all year long. You let yourself yesterday open up the possibilities despite the, 2% chance that this team had of making the postseason according to FanGraphs. And I think ESPN had them around a 2% chance as well, their odds of making the postseason. But you allowed yourself that brief moment because they were playing good ball. Everybody around them wasn't. They were in prime position to take advantage, playing the Giants, the schedule of the teams around them. And then last night happens, and you're just very quickly reminded of, oh, yeah, that's why they're a game below 500. Oh, yeah, that's why they sold at the deadline. Now, Producer Evan, I have a complaint that I'd like to file. And I don't know if this is something that you file away on the show's behalf. I don't know if you send it in to whoever is going to, take on these complaints. I understand that technically when the game started last night, you were competing for something. I'm very well aware. I mean, we're gonna continue to do this.
We're gonna continue to do this.
So I would like to officially file another complaint, another grievance against Torey Lovello and the Arizona Diamondbacks because Jordan Lawler did not.
I just want to be very clear. They don't have a chance to make the playoffs.
Well, they do. They
have, and I know mathematically they do.
It's greater than zero, yes.
And I understand that even yesterday it felt a little better. We did the math.
Right, and it's on us.
We sat down and did the math, and I guess Torey Lovello did too, and decided, you know what?
Got to put my best 9 out there. Got to really play
I
for the win
just don't
tonight.
think Jordan Lawler's going to be out there because we got a chance to sneak into that third and final wild card spot. I just want to be very clear. No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, we did the math yesterday. We said it was a possibility. I said that if we got to this moment today and they had won the game last night and they were in the driver's seat, they were the first team, they were ahead of everybody else, I was going to give everybody permission today to say, you know what? You're allowed to entertain this. You're allowed to scoreboard watch, but you got to do the work tonight. And they didn't. And the problem with this is that even with everything that I said yesterday, you still should be playing Jordan Lawler every single day.
That's exactly the point. You can scoreboard watch. That's part of the fun, right? Part of the fun is they've been playing good baseball since the deadline, and you can scoreboard watch and say, wow, what if this team can make a little bit of a run? That's it being fun, but you can't do it while sacrificing the most important part of the end of the season, whether you make the playoffs or not, and that's knowing what you have for 2026. And I know baseball is one of those things where, if you get in, you can make a run. Unfortunately, this team just doesn't have the pitching to be the team that gets in and makes a little bit of a run.
Well, and again, there was a righty on the mound, so that means Jordan Lawler is not allowed to play. I mean, those are apparently the rules of engagement right now for Jordan Lawler at the big league level.
Which is ridiculous.
He didn't get the start last night against Logan Webb, but I look at the lineup and I said, do we really? And I know I'm saying this, and he had 3 RBIs last night. I get it. Do I need to see more Jake McCarthy at bats over Jordan Lawler at bats? Do I need to see Vargas over at first base? Or just for a brief moment in time, could I maybe see what Adrian Del Castillo has over at first and Jordan Lawler could be my DH tonight? Could that be a possibility? Could that be a scenario that I get it. Mathematically, they have a chance. We said yesterday, we told you how difficult the math was, but we outlined a scenario where if things went their way last night, they were going to be in the driver's seat. And yes, you owe it as a manager, you owe it to your players that if you're still mathematically in it, you do need to at least try. But can't we walk and chew gum at the same time? Are we all going to collectively say that by playing Jordan Lawler last night, that you would not be still trying to win baseball games? That playing Jordan Lawler somehow sacrifices your ability to win games, sacrifices your ability to see this through? I just don't believe that. I don't believe that by playing Jordan Lawler every single day, you are doing the rest of the team a disservice and not actually trying. Perdomo's in the lineup. Marte's in the lineup. Carroll's in the lineup. Moreno's in the lineup. You've got injuries all over the place right now, right? Just lost Locklear to an injury. So you're trying to patch it together at first base. And we all know what this team is. They've been hovering around 500. Sure. Let's play it out. Let's see where the chips fall. But not at the demise of a young player that I need to get every single at-bat I can. And I'm sorry, I'm just not convinced that by playing him, you have a worse chance to win the baseball game with him in there. And instead, we have to play Vargas at first and McCarthy in left field. You played Blaze, fine. I'm not going to have that debate. Blaze deserves to play every day, whether you play him in third, you play him in center, you play him in left. Whatever the case may be, Blaze needs to be in the lineup. But you're telling me that by playing Vargas and McCarthy and Thomas over Jordan Lawler, that the team has a better chance to win, or it's a dramatic difference in their chance to win? I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. You can do both. You can look at this current situation and say, you know what? Got a chance here if we can go on a run, while also playing one of your young players that you are trying to get an answer on for the future. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. The Diamondbacks just don't appear to be interested in doing that. Torey Lovello does not appear to be interested in doing that. It can be incredibly frustrating. He needs to be getting as many at-bats as possible for us to know. We don't know. I don't know what Jordan Lawler is. I don't. And if you're asking me to judge it based off of what I've seen so far, I'd have to say that he's not a part of the plans. That just feels like a very unfair thing to say when the sample size is so small. So wouldn't you want to play him right now the rest of the season so that the sample size grows and we all can feel better about the decision that this organization makes? Do we really want to walk into next season with him starting somewhere with this limited number of at-bats? It just feels like they're doing themselves a disservice now, and they're doing themselves a disservice into the future. So that was the baseball last night. Again, you had everything else go your way across baseball. You couldn't get it done. You had a big lead in this game early, and you had a 3-0 lead after McCarthy hit the triple. Starting pitching couldn't hold it. Bullpen couldn't hold it. You lose to the Giants, who now they're at 73 and 71. You're now trying to play spoiler against them because they're trying to chase down that third and final wild card spot. While all of that was going on, there was a football game last night. It was the debut of J.J. McCarthy. It was the debut of Ben Johnson as the head coach for the Chicago Bears. And I think my takeaway has been echoed by many. I don't think I'm reinventing the wheel with this take this morning. But when that game mattered, when that game was on the line last night, when that game's result was in the balance, the quarterback that played better, the quarterback that I'd rather have leading my football team, was the guy who was making his first start, was the guy who was the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft, not the guy who was the number 1 overall pick, considered a generational prospect at the position, and was given an offensive mind, an offensive genius to many as his head coach. And that was supposed to be the fix of all fixes. I didn't see a lot of fixes last night for Caleb Williams. I did see J.J. McCarthy after having an awful start to this game. I mean, this offense was brutal for 3 quarters. Pick 6, couldn't do anything offensively. But when the game was close, when the game mattered, J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota offense executed the game plan. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense couldn't. I mean, Caleb missed DJ Moore on a wide open throw for a touchdown. Just missed him completely.
I want to make it very clear on where I stand on this. Winning in college football and other levels matters. It shows the type of leader a quarterback is. It shows the calm, cool collectiveness that a quarterback is. All of those things matter. And when you draft somebody like J.J. McCarthy, who, let's face it, has been a winner at every level, comes out, no panic. Played 2 quarters of the worst football I've seen the Vikings play in years. And they went out there in the third, in the fourth quarter, and he was excellent.
The throw to Justin Jefferson was excellent. The throw to Aaron Jones for the touchdown was excellent.
The scramble to get into the end zone was great.
It just looked like a quarterback that was poised and felt comfortable, and they didn't – I don't think they babied him. I think they called their offense, and that's a credit to Kevin O'Connell, who you and I think is the best coach in all of football, and I think he showed it last night. He was even-keeled all throughout the game and just felt like he had the right read of how the game was going to go and never got off balance. He just stayed the course and understood we can do this. We can execute this offense. I am not going to completely change what I'm doing. Yet on the other side, the quarterback that everybody would agree is the more talented of the two felt like he was the one that was lost. Felt like he was the one that was a rookie playing in his first game, because in the fourth quarter, it just seemed that he got lost. Seemed like he didn't know how to execute. Was a little nervous. That throw to DJ Moore. I think that's just nerves. He saw the big open play, and he just airmailed it a little bit.
It's the plays where he feels like he's on a normal 5 to 7 step drop, hit his back foot and let it go. It's those plays where he tends to miss. Moving around the pocket, he's fun. But in a clean pocket, he almost feels less accurate.
And I know what people are saying about the way Caleb started the game, and the offense looked great on that first drive. He was 6 for 6. He scrambled in for the touchdown. It was their first opening drive touchdown since 2023. I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you can script it and set it up the way you want, and when you have to read and react to the way the game is going. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, the offense in general, whoever you want to put the blame on, I would put most of the blame on Caleb. They just couldn't adjust. They couldn't make those tweaks.
If you asked me to bet on it, I would say that Caleb Williams is going to look good to great in the first 2 series of most games this year, because they can script the plays. He can sit down with Ben Johnson. But when they get into the game and we're calling it and we're moving, that's when he seems to break things down. I don't know what it is, if it's a level of panic because he leaves the pocket too early. And then on top of that, he tries to be a superhero. When on that first drive, checking it down, throws back to DeAndre Swift, hits the middle of the field for 5 yards. That's why they were efficient.
Yeah, and the other thing with Caleb too, and listen, I didn't think J.J. McCarthy was a first-round quarterback coming out, and I'm still not sure if he is going to pan out to be something for Minnesota. But I'll say, in a 1-game sample size last night, which quarterback would you rather have?
I'd rather have J.J.
And that is the exact way I feel. Now, by the end of the season, would I probably want Caleb Williams? When we look up at the end of the year, which stat line would I rather have? It would probably be Caleb's, if I'm guessing right on what Ben Johnson's going to be able to do. But, man, you had a chance to have a signature moment. New head coach, your chance to have a signature moment, divisional game, Monday Night Football, the world paying attention to you. And you seeded the floor. You seeded the stage. You allowed the bright lights to be placed on J.J. McCarthy, and he thrived. You failed the audition for American Idol. J.J. McCarthy thrived. J.J. McCarthy landed it. You didn't. And so all of the question marks, all of the concerns about Caleb, there was some reporting that was done last week that certainly kicked up a bit of a hornet's nest there in Chicago about Caleb's conduct, the way he was dealing with meetings and other coaches and other teammates. Certainly painted a very bad picture going into week 1, and the way that game ended certainly didn't help. Now, it's a work in progress. Ben Johnson just got there. It's the first game, but you had a chance in the first game to send a message. It's a different offense, new sheriff in town. Caleb Williams is going to elevate his game to another level, and he failed in that moment. And I'm stunned that we're opening the show saying that the quarterback I'd rather have, the quarterback that I felt more comfortable having the ball in their hands late, was the guy who was stepping on the field for the first time. And oh, by the way, it wasn't just because he was making his NFL debut. It was because he tore his knee last year. So not only is it his NFL debut,
I was going to say that
he's coming off a major injury, and that's the guy I'd rather have in the clutch. That's the guy I'd rather have with 3 minutes to go, needing a drive to win the football game, because he's the guy who took advantage of the moment last night.
How about that, too? This guy tore his ACL. He looked unbelievably athletic for coming off of that. And I see Matthew in the YouTube chat saying, I wouldn't say JJ stayed calm the whole time. Definitely struggled with the pre-snap reads, timeline. We're not saying JJ was perfect for four quarters. What I can tell you, Chris, they'd had 4 drives in the fourth quarter. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. They punted on the 3 plays when they were running the ball at the end of the game.
I don't want to give J.J. McCarthy the MVP here today. I don't want to say he's the offensive player of the year. All I'm saying, in this small 1-game sample size, when the game mattered, JJ was the better quarterback.
And
will that be the case next week? I don't know. He's a young player. He could very easily have all those issues that Matthew pointed out, and he did. He threw a pick 6 in this game. The offense struggled early. This was not perfect. But when the lights got brightest, he seemed to just arrive in the moment and say, we've got this. When he had every reason to crumble under the pressure because of the way the game was going. And I think that stuff matters.
Here's my biggest thing about how JJ played. He made, I'm going to call it 3 throws that won them the football game. And that's the difference. The throw to Justin Jefferson on the touchdown is perfect. I mean, that is a rip. And he throws it with anticipation. That's the first one. The second one is the throw to Aaron Jones. It's a back shoulder ball, safety coming down, has to get it over the linebacker, and he throws a perfect ball. And the third one, which gets lost in the shuffle, you're down a touchdown going into halftime. You get the ball back with 24 seconds left. He throws a strike across the middle of the field. Guess what? We're taking 3 here as we go into the half.
Was it perfect? No. But did he execute when the team needed him to? I think the answer is yes. And it's just not the way I thought we were going to feel after week 1 of the NFL regular season.
We're grading a quarterback in his first ever start in the NFL coming off a torn ACL.
Yeah, I'm not handing him the MVP. I'm just saying last night the quarterback that I would have wanted when the game mattered was the one who got it done, and it wasn't Caleb Williams. And I did not think that was a sentence that I would have said. If you would have asked me yesterday or on Friday that the game ends on a game-winning drive or one quarterback takes over in the fourth quarter, I would have told you it was Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Chicago Bears. I would not have guessed it was J.J. McCarthy in his first start because also that's not who J.J. is as a quarterback. He didn't really do that in Michigan. He didn't take over a game. He didn't make the big throws. They ran the football a bunch. They controlled the time of possession. That's the way they played in Michigan. So you can say that we're giving J.J. too much credit. I'm just saying the quarterback that impressed me more last night was not the guy who was the number 1 overall pick and who has a brand new head coach that's supposed to be an offensive genius to take him to another level. It's the guy who, coming off of a torn meniscus, making his first start in the NFL, played better.
We are not calling him Peyton Manning.
No, they may lose next week. He may look terrible next week. What you saw in the first half could maybe play out for 4 quarters. I'm just saying last night in that 1 game sample size
was impressive.
The quarterback that played better was J.J. McCarthy when it mattered. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. As you can see, lively debate here on the program. Multiple ways for you to get involved, be a part of the conversation when we come back. The Arizona Cardinals and their offense. Is this just what this offense is at this point? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, celebrate culture, community, and football. Join Phoenix Rising on Saturday, September 20th at 7 p.m. for Hispanic Heritage Night as they face off against Loudoun United FC. The first fans through the gates will receive free Rising maracas while supplies last, and the night features live mariachi bands and a special menu honoring the flavors of the Valley. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Color, culture, rising together.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th.
with special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
Rome here with your Rome Report. Per usual, nothing ever lives up to the hype except that come-from-behind punk job that Buffalo put on Baltimore last night. So up 15 late in the fourth quarter with a win probability of better than 99%. Did the Ravens choke or did the Bills rip it from them? As always, yes. I posted on X last night, quote, "It's Josh Allen and everybody else, no one better," end quote. It's never over when you have this guy, a point Allen himself made to the fans who left before it was over. And the more things change, the more they stay exactly the same for the Ravens. Why can't they ever close anybody out when it matters? Ever. And yes, hindsight is 20/20, but how does Ravens coach John Harbaugh not go for it on 4th and less than 3 when he has Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and a chance to finish that game? Short field or long field, Allen was going to finish it regardless, so Harbaugh should have never given him the chance. Not when Allen spent the entire fourth quarter carving them. I'm Jim Rome.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get 1 free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. Furnished by the American.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I want to know how the Angry Roosters did in week 1 of the regular season. We have an update on them?
I was wondering that. The Angry Roosters must have been pretty upset to see Micah Parsons get a first sack.
I mean, I don't know if that was exactly why that cut was taken from
you
that
have to
show,
imagine.
But I would assume it was something related to a contract dispute. So, yeah, I think it's fair.
Micah Parsons had Trey Hendrickson had a sack. Bad week for Terry McLaurin had a nice week. Bad week for the Angry Roosters.
That's why I want to know, how'd they do in week 1 with all of their players that they are not interested in giving contract extensions to? I'll have to check in with Rooster to see how the Angry Roosters did in week 1. I will tell you, we got Overreaction Tuesday coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. I considered, with the way that Matt was coming at us in the first segment over on YouTube, I considered adding that the Vikings would win the NFC West, the NFC North, and be a 2 seed or better.
Vikings moving to the NFC West now.
All right, that's fair. I got you yesterday. You can get me. That's fair. That's fair. I considered adding that just to troll everybody to my Overreaction Tuesday list. I did. I'm going to be respectful to everybody.
No, I think you got to come in with the ones you had.
I have 3.
So do I. I have 3.
Overreaction Tuesday coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll give you our hottest takes from week 1 and determine whether or not these are overreactions or underreactions. So I'll grade Evans. Evan's going to grade mine. And I don't know if I fully believe all 3. They're just things that I think are front of mind for me.
Yeah, I say same exact way.
Two of them, I believe. One of them, I think, is the definition of an overreaction to week one. So I want to see where we're both at on it. That was where my third one was.
I think I have the same thing.
Okay, so we'll do that in about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinals offense, I think, continues to be front and center because it felt like we watched a rerun of last year's version of this group. It felt like it took a little bit for Marvin Harrison Jr. to get involved. It felt like we're still longing for a wide receiver 2 in this offense. And so I think a fair question as we enter now year 3 of this project, year 3 of Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray working together as the leaders of this offense. I think it's fair to wonder, is this just what this offense is at this point? Is this the ceiling of this group? And we're just going to have to accept that there is no next level for Kyler Murray. There is no next level for what this offense can do for Marv, for McBride, for the wide receiver 2. Like every week, this is kind of what they're going to be. Sometimes they're going to win with it. Sometimes they're going to lose with it. And we've been debating a lot behind the scenes on the show. I'll take you behind the curtain just a second. Producer Evan and I both watched the All-22 film for the Cardinals and for our respective teams, the Eagles and Jets. And we love the data. We love the numbers. I mean, we joke about it here on the show.
I'm a huge nerd.
And we have tried to figure out the best way to take that knowledge and make it digestible here for the show. I mean, and we've done it before where I just shout random statistics at you, and it feels like sometimes that gets lost. So we're working on how to translate what we watched when we break down the All-22, when we see the advanced numbers, and trying to figure out how we can best package it up and present it to you here on the show. And I'm going to give it a shot here because we were watching some clips from Kyler and the All-22 this morning, and I'm here to tell you, when you go back and watch it, I don't know if this makes me want to rip my hair out or if it makes me excited about what this offense could be, because there's a lot of meat on the bone here left for this offense. There are a lot of plays you watch where Kyler Murray is just missing things. There are wide open plays, deep shots to Zay Jones, deep shots to Marvin Harrison Jr. There's a play early on in the game where Kyler scrambles for 13 yards, a positive play, a play that you wouldn't think I'd bring up here on the show as a negative to Kyler Murray. Picks up 13 yards, picks up a first down, keeps the chain moving. The problem is, if you go and look at it, he misses a chance to hit a wide open Marvin Harrison Jr. for what is at least 25 yards, if not a potential touchdown if Marv makes one guy miss an open space. There are plays that are still being left on the table for this offense. So if you want to look at that and say it's year 7 of Kyler Murray, that's just who he is. They're never going to be able to make those plays, and it's going to put a cap on what this offense is able to do. I can't blame you for thinking that. I was screaming at the television in my office when we were watching this tape this morning. I was concerned that other people in the building were going to check on me because I was screaming at Kyler to throw the football. So I understand if that's the path you want to take, but there's also the path of if he can make those throws, if he can identify those plays and they can start hitting on those plays, you have an offense that's going to be big play city. Those explosive plays that Jonathan Gannon talks about. What is it? 16 yards or more? That they classify those as explosive plays? They're all over the tape. They're all over the All-22. They're all over this game where now there are some that you see clear as day, right? The play in the back of the end zone where he misses Marv for what would be 99 yards and a house call, right? That one you can see because that's who he was throwing the ball to. You can't see those when you're watching the broadcast and Kyler scrambles for 13 yards and you're thinking, that's a great play. Look at Kyler showing off his mobility. And I love those plays, but I don't love them when they come at the cost of a big shot to Marv. Because you know what? We came in here yesterday and we said, man, another game where it's taking them too long to get Marv involved. I don't think I want to put that on Drew Petzing. I think Drew Petzing is scheming Marv open. We just got to execute on the plays. And that concerns me because if we continue to have this conversation, it's going to be on the quarterback. This is year 7. There's some throws that you just can't be missing. There are reads that you just have to be able to make. Throws that you just have to execute. And it doesn't feel like Kyler was doing that. So I don't know. It depends on what day you catch me. You catch me on a day like today where I just got done watching it, I'm annoyed at Kyler, and I'm worried that he's never going to be able to make those plays because it's year 7, and if he hasn't done it already, I have to believe that this is who he is as a quarterback. Sometimes maybe you'll catch me later on in the week getting ready to preview Carolina. I'll be more optimistic, and I'll say, no, the plays are there. Drew Petzing's a good coordinator. He's dialing it up. They just gotta find a way to execute these plays. It's there. I like what the offense is doing. Depends on what day you catch me. Today, you're catching me on a day where I'm frustrated, extremely frustrated that there are plays being left on tape. And it doesn't, I have an untrained eye. I didn't play in the league. I didn't coach. I'm not a scout, but I'm watching these plays, and there's a lot of smart people in my life that I trust to teach me on how to watch all 22 film and how to break down football. And I know that not every play you just circle the open man and you say, oh, just make that throw. You have to know where the read is. You have to know where Kyler is looking. It's easy if you watch it on tape. He's staring down reads, and he's just not making the throws. The team just needs to be better. He needs to be better. So right now, today's a day where I'm worried that there are plays being drawn up and that there are great routes being run and things are being schemed open, and they're just not executing. And I worry about that as the season gets long in the tooth. Now, I'm happy that we're dealing with this when the team's 1-0 and they took care of business. And they're set up well here for week 2 against the Carolina team that you think they should be able to handle pretty comfortably. But I'm just afraid of all of the missed plays. Not overthrows, not incomplete, just throws that we're not even attempting. And the big plays that are being left on the table. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it's our first edition of Overreaction Tuesday. Nothing better like the Overreaction Tuesday, the first week of the year. The definition of overreacting to what we saw. We will go through all of our week 1 overreactions. Do it next. It's the lunch break at KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long, whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside.
This is your chance to witness history and make championship-caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA and a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout. Don't fall victim to Art the Clown inside a grisly Terrifier haunted house like nothing you've seen before. And that's only 2 of 8 terrifying haunted houses. Grab your tickets now at universalstudioshollywood.com/Halloween. Event not recommended for children under 13.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarter. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
You know, I had brand new fancy music for the first edition of Overreaction Tuesday. My computer locked up on me. So we're going to have to use the old school music. Which, I mean, worse things have happened to us here on the program. But I had new fancy football music because
we do, and we'll have to save it for next week. But I'm excited about the new music as well.
I know. We spent a decent chunk this morning putting some new music in. And for whatever reason, the computer in front of me, I can't find it. It could be user error.
You ruined the new music.
It could be user error. I'm not ruling out that I just don't know where it is on the computer. So we'll use the old music. It is the first edition of Overreaction Tuesday. We'll each have a handful of these every single week. Because, you know, Overreaction Monday is a thing. That's been there, done that. We're doing Overreaction.
Not our thing.
Overreaction Tuesday is what we're doing. I'm grading producer Evans. Producer Evan is grading mine. Do you want to go first?
I can go first if that's what you want.
Yeah, go all three. Just do one at a time, and I will determine whether or not overreaction or if I agree with it.
So I'm going all three?
Well, just yes.
One at a time, but then
Yes, one at a time, but do all three.
The Chiefs run. It's over.
Oh, wow, you're going that far.
I'm going that far.
Now, I know I just said I want you to do all three of yours, but I feel like I need to interject because my second observation for this week, Overreaction Tuesday, the Chargers will win the West. I feel like we're simpatico. I feel like we're saying the same thing.
Same, but different.
You know what? I know where that is. I know where that is on the.
We are same, but different, but still same.
I mean, we're in lockstep. I was very impressed with the way the Chargers played on Friday, and I do think after what happened in the Super Bowl, everybody's kind of ready. They're ready
to write them off.
They're ready to jump on the Chiefs, and they've been kind of waiting for permission. They've been waiting for the excuse, getting blown out in the Super Bowl. Now you lose week 1 to the Chargers. The Chargers, for the first time in forever, look like they're a competent organization. Herbert's playing good ball. You know they're going to be well coached. Everybody's been waiting for a team. The Chargers might be that team.
Another team that I think might be that team. They thought this in the offseason.
What if we just took a shot?
And they got their guy, Aaron Rodgers, going to have a great year and lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to at least the divisional round.
I mean, you just look at it statistically, and you look at the way he played last year. How do you not get excited, right? You break it down, one of his 4 touchdowns is a pop pass. They needed a 60-yard field goal to beat the Jets.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with Rodgers.
And their offense at most of the game, really until late, didn't move the ball all that well. One of the touchdowns was on
he was spinning it.
Short field off of a turnover. So it's not like he's leading them up and down on big drives. Listen, I don't want to take away from the 4 touchdowns, and it was a good performance. But Can you show it to me one more time, maybe?
It's an overreaction show.
And I would say overreaction.
And here's what I'll tell you. I thought he looked athletic given his age. Like, the most athletic I've seen him look in a couple years.
He did move a little bit better than I expected.
Yeah.
Now, is that because he hasn't played football in a year? And as the season goes on, he's going to look like a 41, about to be 42-year-old quarterback? That would be my guess right now.
Could be.
I'm not surprised that he looked good for 1 week. I'm not.
Yeah, neither am I.
I'll be surprised if he looks good for 8 weeks.
Now, am I surprised he threw 4 touchdowns and no picks? Yes.
Yeah. Now, again, one of them was a little pop pass, but
the Raiders have a real chance to make the playoffs.
Of course. I mean, you couldn't do something Panthers related because they lost yesterday. So it had to be, or 2 days ago. So it had to be something Raiders related.
The Panthers, they're going to bounce back. Maybe not this week. That's
not an overreaction.
Maybe not.
That's like that's a lukewarm kind of take. I mean, that's not what we're going for here. No, I'm going to call this a major overreaction. I'm going to disagree with this one. I'm going to say that you're going a little too far. They played the Patriots. The Patriots are not supposed to be good. They're supposed to kind of hover around the wild card.
They were kind of everybody's sexy pick this year, right?
It was nauseating. Everybody was like, "Oh, Vrabel, Drake May, they're going to sneak in and they're going to be the number 2 team in the AFC East." I mean, they could because the Dolphins are worse than we thought. I did consider putting something Dolphins related on here, like the Dolphins get the number 1 overall pick. I didn't go that far.
It's not. I don't know if that's an overreaction.
But the Raiders impressed me, but I need to see it against a different style of opponent. I kind of expect them to be able to win that game. And Geno throws for nearly 400 yards, and they only score 20 points. That's a bit of a concern too, right? Like, you see that stat line, and you're like, oh, they won.
I think the biggest concern was Genty really was ineffective.
And Bowers is banged up, so you worry about what that might do to their offense.
Those are the 2 biggest things.
All right, I got 2 since you didn't steal one of mine, but we had some overlap. My first overreaction. Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFL.
I don't think that's an overreaction. I really don't.
Buffalo scored 41 points. Baltimore looked good. Eagles are still the defending NFC champions, and they won. They're 1-0.
One week in, I think it's Packers.
And then my third overreaction. This one, you're going to like this one. The Indianapolis Colts make the postseason.
This is a major, major, major overreaction.
Danny Dimes, 7 drives, 7 scores.
Danny Dimes' legacy day.
Oh, it was career day for Daniel Jones.
Can I be honest? I think they're mispriced this week already.
I haven't seen what the numbers are. I haven't started to do my research.
I will tell you that they are going to be probably one of my picks. Do you want me to tell you what the spread is?
I would love to know. Yeah.
It's Denver -1.5.
So they played Denver this week. I didn't realize who they played. So this is tough. This is a market baking in that Denver didn't look good. And this is a market that's pricing in
Colts looked great.
The Colts looked great on offense. And so you put that into the computer, you hit some buttons on the keyboard, what do you get? Denver -1.5.
I mean,
I have to look at what the rest of the slate looks like, but my gut says I want nothing to do with that number. My gut says I don't want to take that game, that I think there's going to be 3 other games that I can take.
We'll see. I've been looking at the spread.
Doesn't that feel like that game could go either way? Denver could cover the 1.5 easily, and you'd be like, yeah, of course. Or Indy could continue to be hot, win the game by a score, and you'd be like, yeah, Denver didn't impress. The Colts were impressive.
The question is, are the Colts last year Saints?
Where's
where
the
they
game?
Scored 1 million points. It's in Indy.
So Denver's still a road favorite. So they're not giving that much respect to Indy.
1.5, like Indy. I don't know. It's still Daniel Jones, and despite how air quote poorly.
What a great comment by It's All Code over on YouTube. Dimes go further in Indy than the Big Apple. Very good. It's like a cost of living joke. New York being very expensive joke.
I love it.
That covered a lot there. That was very good.
That was awesome.
I mean, he looked good, right? Didn't he look like a different version of himself?
He really did. But like, yes, everybody's reacting that the Broncos looked bad
And
offensively, and they did.
Terrible.
But their defense is still awesome. And guess what? They still looked awesome. Tennessee started with the ball 4 times on the plus side of the field and never scored a touchdown.
I know.
I
hear
know
you.
it was Cam Ward's first start, but
why are you yelling at me? It's Overreaction Tuesday for a reason. I got the reaction I was looking for. Because I don't know if I actually think this. But when you look at the state of the AFC, if they're going to play this well, like if the offense is going to, not to say that they're going to win every game 33-8, but if the offense is going to be able to move anywhere close to this level with regularity, they're going to be better than we all thought.
Certainly.
So there you have it. The first Overreaction Tuesday of 2025. When we come back, we wrap up hour number 1 here of the lunch break. We've got buy or sell next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy 1 pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Everyone's against Detroit. They think that because they lost Ben Johnson, that all of a sudden Detroit and Dan Campbell are going to fold. I think they're still going to be good. Everyone that's seen The Water Boy, read by you, he had the green notebook. So once Henry Winkler's character gave Red Bayou the notebook, which is Dan Campbell, he was able to execute it. But I think Dan Campbell could Red Bayou himself.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up hour number 1 here of the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. A little buy or sell. Hottest takes, Sports Talk Radio. Producer Evan has them. I'm buying or selling the takes to close up hour number 1 of the show. What do you got today?
Kyler Murray being sick was a huge factor in how he played on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll buy this. And maybe it's the generous person in me, but it's week 1. You're already, in general, shaking off the cobwebs. Then you add on to it that apparently there's a bug going around the entire team and it impacted the quarterback. Do I think that can impact decision-making? Do I think that can hinder their performance? Yes. Yes, I do. Now, this is year 7 of Kyler. Some of the concerns that I've had about Kyler through his first 6 years were evident in the game on Sunday, but it's week 1. It's early in the season. You're already dusting off the cobwebs as it is. I'm willing to say that, yes, that did play a role in the sluggishness that I think we saw on the offensive side of the ball.
Drew Petzing drew up his best game plan in the last 2 years against the Saints on Sunday.
This is hard for me to judge without sitting down and watching every play from the last 2 seasons, but I liked what I saw.
And the reason I kind of used that is, I'll tell you, even on some of the ones, and we talked about it, about a play where Kyler ends up running, but we thought he had Marv across the middle of the field.
No, we don't think he had Marv. He absolutely had Marv wide open across the field.
But I just felt as if last year we would never see Marv cross the middle of the field. And it felt as if when you go back and watch the tape, they actually did try to scheme him open.
Oh, there's some great play designs. There's some great little screen plays. I mean, the first play of the game to get Trey McBride involved is a nice little play design. They got McBride involved on what would normally be an RB screen, but instead of throwing it to the back, it was Trey McBride who kind of blocked and then spun around and was wide open to receive it in the screen position. I mean, there's some really great stuff if you break it down individually. I just don't know. I don't have a library to go back in my head of breaking down the last 2 years of Drew Petzing's play calling to determine whether or not it was his best. It was very good. It's very good. I was impressed with what I saw. Now I'm about a little bit into the third quarter, I think, in my watch. So I'll see how it progresses here later on in the afternoon. But from what I've seen so far, I think there's a lot of good stuff on tape. They put a lot of good stuff on film.
Yeah, I think watching it, I'm very
encouraged.
Yeah, with the game plan. The Vikings will make the playoffs with J.J. McCarthy.
Boy, how do you not feel this way after what you saw last night from the team and from him, especially late? I'm going to buy this right now. I have been skeptical on Minnesota. What have I said? Love the coach. Questions about the quarterback, right? I had going into last night, honestly, truthfully, being transparent with one another. What did you know about J.J. McCarthy as a quarterback?
Not much.
0. I don't care what he did in Michigan. You knew absolutely nothing. I knew a lot about Sam Darnold. I knew exactly what Sam Darnold was in this system, and Minnesota said, thanks, but no thanks. We're good. No, and they let him go to Seattle. And so they showed a lot of confidence in this kid, but I had no reason to put confidence into him until I saw him play. I saw him play last night. I was at a 0 on the confidence meter. I'm probably up to a 3 after what I saw last night. I don't want to completely overreact and say, oh, they're gonna be in the heat to win the division again this year. I don't want to go that far, but I was encouraged to continue to use that word. I was encouraged by what I saw last night.
I think when you talk about what the Vikings did, the only thing we knew about JJ was they sat down and made the decision to let Sam walk.
Right.
And that alone makes you think that in the room and internally, they are very confident in JJ McCarthy. To that point, though, that was the only answer I had on him. Even in Michigan, even going back, yes, he's a winner, and I think that stuff does matter. I said that earlier in the show. But they didn't ask him to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game for them to win. That wasn't what Michigan did. And then he's coming off a knee injury that I have concerns about. He was athletic at Michigan. How athletic is he going to be now?
If you were going to pick Minnesota to make the postseason before the year started, you were doing so with really one reason in mind. And it's a fair reason, but your one reason was, I believe wholeheartedly in Kevin O'Connell. It was, I trust you wholeheartedly. If this is the decision you made, then I think it's a great one. That's what you were putting stock into. And I just felt a little uneasy about that. And I love Kevin O'Connell. We think he's the best coach in football. But coming off of a knee injury, never played in the NFL before, I just needed to see it. But right now, if that's the way they're going to be able to play, the second half version, fourth quarter version, they're going to be able to get into that offense regularly. They got to clean up the stuff early. They got to clean up the turnovers, right? The pick six. They have to clean that stuff up. But
and people don't talk about it. That Vikings defense is good.
They were good last night. They certainly held the Bears down after that first touchdown on the opening drive. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back to start hour number 2, they gave up 5 sacks. How concerned should we be about the Cardinals' offensive line? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
We watch these lawyers get on TV and say they're going to treat their clients like family, when we know they put secret mandatory quotas on their lawyers. That means your own lawyer pressures you into a premature, terrible result. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. We don't set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome and by each client's happiness.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
This is Ron. I'm the president of Alaskan AC. Our main job is keeping you comfortable, and we hope that puts a smile on your face. But we recently met someone we just made smile just by being on the radio.
I giggle every time I hear you guys come on. My daughter laughs at me because I can hear the jingle start and I immediately turn the volume up.
That's our new friend, Charisse. Not a customer, just somebody who needed a laugh, and we just happened by.
My husband passed away 5 years ago. I was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago. I fell into a very dark depression. You guys make me so happy, so I can't say thank you enough. I really, truly can't.
That's awesome. No matter how we made you happy, we just want to say thanks. You're the reason we've been keeping Arizona chill since 1972.
The Grizz cracks me up, and I've actually repeated it to people because some of them don't know who you guys are. Mm-hmm. So I have to say, oh, you have to listen to them. They're so funny.
Reach out anytime at alaskanac.com.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. I hate everything about you. Live. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right. Fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more. Welcome to Jack in the Box. Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Welcome into hour number 2 here of the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chat away with us over there as well. You want to join the show, 480-864-1060. The phone number to hang out with us here today on the show. The Arizona Cardinals gave up 5 sacks in their opening contest against the New Orleans Saints, and that felt like a abnormal number, especially when you compare it with the 1 sack that they got of Spencer Rattler. It felt like, with the way we feel about this pass rush coming into the season, the way we feel about an offensive line that was the same group as last year, and last year this group was pretty good, pretty solid. You felt like you had a great group, felt like you didn't need to make a whole lot of wholesale changes on that side of the ball. In fact, you didn't make a single wholesale change on that side of the ball. Feels like you would expect these numbers to be reversed, that there would only be 1 sack of Kyler Murray and that there would have been 5 sacks of Spencer Rattler. You would have played into the inexperience of Rattler. The pass rush would have announced its presence very early on in this game, and that those numbers would be flipped. Well, they're not. So how concerning is that? How concerned should we be that Kyler Murray got sacked 5 times. And I struggle with this because inherently, when you have a more mobile quarterback, there are going to be plays, there are going to be sacks that shouldn't count against the offensive line. Not all sacks are created equal. Fair? Not all sacks are the same?
Certainly fair. When you have a mobile quarterback, you're just going to run into sacks, right?
And I don't know if I want to lay those at the feet of the offensive line.
Because other pocket passers around the league are going to throw it away. That's not always going to be the game of Kyler, and that's why there's magic when it happens and it turns out good. And that's why you take a couple extra sacks that maybe shouldn't fall on the offensive line.
And so it can be really hard to look up at the end of the year and see which teams offensively had the most sacks allowed, the most sacks against them, and try to put it in its proper context. To say, well, they've got a mobile quarterback. I think we'd all agree. Lamar Jackson has way more of a propensity to get sacked than most quarterbacks, right? Because instead of throwing it away, he is going to try to pull the rabbit out of his hat. He is going to try to pull off the magic trick. And 9 out of 10 times he does, 8 out of 10 times he does. But the times that he doesn't, it ends in a sack. And I'm sorry, but my offensive line can't block for 12 seconds. It's just not a feasible thing to ask of your offensive lineman. And so you see the number, you see 5 sacks, and you want to just jump on the offensive line. They're supposed to be better. It's the same group as last year. There's continuity. They didn't make any changes. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows their responsibilities. What's going on here? Well, how many of these sacks are strictly on the offensive line? How many of these are a direct result of a missed assignment? A free rusher just getting home? Somebody not doing their job? And how many of them are Kyler scrambling out of bounds to the sidelines and sliding behind the line of scrimmage so it gets registered as a sack? I'm sorry, I'm not going to penalize the offensive line for that sack. I'm not going to penalize the offensive line for a sack where Kyler's running around and he runs into pressure. Now, that's not to completely say none of them were on the offensive line. I thought at times, and I didn't bring this up with Evan, so I don't know if he feels the same way, but there were times watching the game, the broadcast version, where it felt like Paris Johnson was like just a step off. It felt like he just at times didn't feel like 100% himself.
100%. And maybe it's just getting into the first game, and I think that's probably what it is.
100%.
But there was a few times where you're right. He almost felt a step slow.
And
is that crazy to say?
No, and I don't want to bring this up to say I'm concerned about Paris Johnson Jr. I'm just saying what I saw watching the game over the weekend, and that's why I think the sack numbers are inflated. A combination of it felt like the offensive line, the right side in particular, Jonah Williams has to play better. On
the third play of the game or fourth play of the game, there was that miscommunication between what we assume was a miscommunication between the tight ends, Tip Ryman and...
Right. That's a sack that I'm not putting on the offensive line. That's 2 tight ends running into each other, and they allow a rusher to get home on the play. Right? Was that a run play or was that a sack of Kyler?
That was a sack of Kyler. It was a bootleg.
That's right. It was a bootleg, and he just had nowhere to go the moment that they ran into each other. The play, I believe, was designed to be thrown to Trey McBride out in the flat, and he just could never get there because of the miscommunication. The free rusher got in his way, got in his face. And so, that's not on the offensive line. That is part of the blocking scheme, and the tight ends need to do a better job of that. But I'm not overly concerned about 5 sacks in the first game. I'm not going to look at that number and say, hey, this is a problem. They're not going to be able to protect Kyler. They're not going to be able to run the football because of it. And Trey Benson had a nice day, 69 yards. James Conner, I would say a pedestrian day for him, 12 carries, 39 yards. That, to me, is the bigger concern, is that it didn't feel like they could gain a lot in the run game. The run game PFF grades, I think I'm contractually obligated.
I'm a huge nerd.
Weren't great for the right side of the offensive line. And I bring up the right side of the offensive line because doesn't it feel like if those 2 players in particular don't play well, don't you feel like you have replacements ready to go in Kelvin Beachum and Will Hernandez? Now, Will's got to be healthy. Will needs to be ready to go. But doesn't it feel like if there's underperformance, you have options, you have depth that you can tap into that How many teams can say this? The following sentence. They have 2 players on their bench. They have 2 players that are depth offensive line options for them that started a lot of games for them last season. Calvin Beachum started a bunch. He started what? From halftime of week 1 against the Bills last year all the way through, what was it, the second or the first Seattle game where Jonah Williams returned to the lineup? In a large chunk of the season, Kelvin Beachum was your starting right tackle. Will Hernandez was your starting guard at the beginning of the year. So not many teams can say we've got 2 guys in that room that we can turn to that was started for us, and we felt really comfortable. The only reason why Beachum got taken out is because Jonah was the guy that they paid. Jonah was the starter week 1. He came back. They put him back in there. They did not bench Kelvin Beachum because of underperformance. Will Hernandez got hurt. Will Hernandez was banged up. So it's nice to have those options. And if this offensive line continues to struggle with running the football, if there are more sacks that we can put at their feet that we can blame them for, then I do think you have the ability to make some changes, especially on the right side of the line. I'm not worried about Paris Johnson. I'm not worried about him maybe looking a step slow. It's week 1. You're dusting off cobwebs. The first 2 weeks of the season are basically preseason games. We only play 3 preseason games. Starters only play in what, 1? And the Cardinal starters played in 1 preseason game this year. They didn't play in 3. So they are still dusting off the cobwebs. The Cardinals are just extremely lucky that they get to dust off the cobwebs against the Saints and the Panthers to start the year, and they don't draw the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, the Packers. They don't draw those teams early on in the year where you got to be on your A game. They can play their B or C game and talent-wise be good enough to win these football games. Now, if we're talking about this in week 3, in week 4, in week 5, after the bye week, we're still talking about Paris Johnson maybe seeming like he's a step slow, the offensive line giving up too many pressures, in general, the running game. Now, you look up at the end, and they had 146 yards on the ground, so you're not going to complain, but James Conner only getting 39 yards, 3.3 yards per carry, feels like he should be doing a lot more. Now, maybe this means Trey Benson gets more of the work with how successful he was on his 8 carries, and maybe that changing of the guard happens sooner. I'm still not willing to go there after week 1. They did just pay James Conner last season. The back half of the year, they paid him. So I still think they want him to be the primary lead back. But if he's not getting it done, just like with the offensive line, there's an in-house option that they can turn to that's highly productive. And so I know it's easy to overreact to things we saw in week 1. It's easy to overreact to, 5 sacks. James Conner couldn't run the ball. All of these things are legitimate concerns, but I don't think they're legitimate concerns when the sample size is 1. I think they're legitimate concerns when we're at the bye and we're still talking about this stuff on Monday and Tuesday after those games. Is there a world where they've dusted off the cobwebs and they look fine this weekend against Carolina in the home opener and they're just dominating the line of scrimmage? James Conner's running for nearly 100. Trey Benson's adding some as the backup. They're keeping the pocket clean for Kyler Murray. And we're not talking about this next week. Is that a reality that we could live in? I think so. Home opener. They're going to play with that little extra juice. They're going to want to improve off of their performance. I'm not overly impressed with what Carolina has up front. So it feels like you can dominate the line of scrimmage. So if we have a performance that's the complete inverse of what we saw on Sunday, don't you just chalk this up for what it is? Week 1, dusting off the cobwebs, basically still an extension of training camp in the preseason. Let's not overreact in a big way to what we saw, because this group, they know their responsibilities. They know what their roles are. They all played together last year. There's no new piece that needs time to gel. I think they're going to be fine. I think by the time we get to midway through the game next week, we're going to be like, remember that? That's funny. We talked about the concern of the offensive line. And again, not all sacks are created equal. When you have a mobile quarterback, you invite more pressure. You invite him to lose yards in the backfield and it get called a sack. That I'm not putting on the offensive line unless there's a completely blown coverage that allows a free rusher where he needs to scramble around and he's got nowhere to go.
there's no reason to overreact to it, given, one, they won the game.
That helps.
That helps, which is the biggest thing. But two, it's game number one. There was miscommunication, sacks. There was, yes, a few where you and I thought Paris Johnson probably looked a step slow. There was a few that Kyler probably ran into. I think 5 sacks, more or less, came from kind of a perfect storm of things that you needed to happen to run into. And that happens in week one.
I think in general, it's unfair to assume that the Cardinals are going to end every week without allowing a sack. The nature of who their quarterback is and the nature of the way their offense is set up, I think you have to accept a couple of sacks as a byproduct of what they do. Right? In Baltimore, I don't think there's a complaint that Lamar gets sacked a little bit. Because for every sack that he takes, he has an absolutely mesmerizing play.
Nobody cares.
That takes
if
over.
He takes a bad sack. Nobody cares. Who cares?
I mean, he was sacked twice on Sunday. Does anybody care? He ran 6 times for 70 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, Michael says 5 sacks are too many. I would agree that you can't live in a world where
certainly I agree.
5 sacks can be the floor here. Because I don't know if I can do that math.
If 5 sacks is the floor, are you asking me how many they're going to give up?
I mean, that's 85 sacks. That's too many.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Of course, that's too many. But again, not all sacks are created equal. Not all sacks feel the same. 85 sacks, you would say, do you got 5 traffic cones playing offensive line for you? Whereas it's not that simple.
85 sacks.
It's a lot. And I don't think that's going to happen again. I think I'm going to say it out. I'm going to put it in the universe. It's going to be on tape forever. And the moment that I'm wrong, we'll cut it and we'll play it the day after. That'll be the most sacks this team allows all season.
Let's hope.
That'll be the most sacks.
I tend to agree with you.
In a single game that this team will allow this year.
I do tend to agree with you.
There's too much talent on the offensive line. There's too much continuity. The scheme is the same. And, I mean, I'll have to look at the numbers. How many times did Kyler get sacked last year? I'll tell you, I'll take the under on 85. I'll take the under on 85 sacks for Kyler last year.
I would have to take the under on 85. Listen, they're not going to get sacked 5 times every game. It was a perfect storm of things that added up to what was probably a lackluster performance from the offense in a game that we all thought that they could come out and expose the Saints, and they didn't. And so there's major question marks about what this offense is going to be because, let's face it, they didn't look great. The quarterback wasn't as effective as we probably wanted him to be. But let's also not forget he was throwing up at 4 a.m. the day of the game.
Same offensive line last year. Kyler got sacked 30 times.
And just by nature, because he gave up 4 in the first game, it'll probably be more than 30. But I expect it to be less than 40.
I mean, 48 is the most that he's been sacked in a year. That was his rookie campaign. This offensive line is better than that. That's why I'm not concerned. And if he is getting sacked that many times, then this team's got bigger problems on their hands.
Way bigger problems.
Than the way Kyler Murray plays. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Shout out to our guy Peter joining us. Wishing us all a happy Tuesday. Man, these shows flying by during the football week. They just do.
They really do. I mean, we are moving.
We're moving.
Yesterday's show
flew by.
Could have been our fastest show ever.
Well, this one certainly, they're certainly keeping up that pace. And so when we come back, it's Tuesday. Just because it's the regular season doesn't mean we're not doing the NFL news dump. Of course, we're going to do the NFL news dump.
And don't worry, we got the music again.
We have the old music. I still can't find the new music. The new music is lost. I'm gonna have to place an email here after the show to figure out what happened to the new music because I don't know where it went. I did it.
You just lost it?
Well, no, I have it on my office computer.
No, I know that. But
I can't get it to load into the system. The way I load in everything that we do on the show, I did it the same way. It won't come up. It's the only file that won't come up. So you got to do something. Well, yeah, and whatever I'm doing, it's not working right now. So I'm going to have to make a phone call or an email after the show. We've got the NFL News Dump here on the other side. Thanks for joining us. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Hundreds of deals from pantry to produce. Save on meal solutions for busy schedules, including fresh fruits and vegetables, protein picks, pantry staples, and household essentials. Now through September 16th.
Summer's here, and SRP wants to remind you that swim safety starts with W. That's right, W, as in Water Watcher. Keep pool time a good time by designating an adult who can swim and knows CPR. Be sure they avoid distractions, always scan the swimming area, and ensure that the pool gate stays locked. Assigning a water watcher is a simple step to help prevent drownings and keep everyone safe around pools. To get more water safety tips, visit srp.net/pool.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
And this is Above the Noise. Last night's Sunday night game was a reminder. If you don't have an elite quarterback in today's NFL, you're already behind. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen put on a show worthy of January, not September. Jackson was electric, carving up the Buffalo defense with Super Bowl aspirations and dropping 40 points in the process. It didn't matter if the pocket collapsed or if receivers struggled to separate. Lamar made something out of nothing. The kind of magic that keeps a team dangerous against anybody on the schedule. And that's what elite quarterbacks do. And then came Allen, nearly 400 yards through the air, capped off by 16 unanswered points, delivering a 1-point win for the Bills. It was vintage Josh Allen, fearless, improvisational, and relentless. The lesson is simple. Weapons matter, coaching matters, defense matters, but what matters most is the quarterback. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Ha-ha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa. Yeah! And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Woo! Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
New car prices going up? You're not imagining it. That shiny new ride just got even more expensive, making it tougher than ever to justify trading in. But here's the good news. Maaco can make your current car look and feel new again for a fraction of the cost. From fresh paint to light bodywork, we help you get more out of what you already own and love. Book your free estimate online or visit your nearest Maaco today. Free estimates, friendly service, fast turnaround. Better get Maaco.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids
say.
He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. what you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Now, I don't know how to take this comment from our guy Michael over on YouTube. So, Evan, maybe you can help me out on this one, because I'm not sure what to do with this.
I don't get it.
Is he saying that I should look in the trash can, the recycle bin on the computer? Or is he saying that I belong in the trash can for screwing this up as many times as I have?
Yeah, I don't know.
And there is a delete button on this screen. This is not, I'll take you a little inside baseball. This is not your normal run-of-the-mill computer. I mean, there's no, Windows icon in the bottom left. I have a radio software up here. I mean, you think I just play this off the computer?
I'm a huge nerd.
You think I just have like files upon files ready to go? No, I have a screen that's got buttons on it, right? We went busto. I mean, I just play things off the board. This is where the NFL music comes from.
And where everything comes from.
There's a system to load in.
Where the daily special comes from.
Correct. And I just don't know where the file went. Maybe I've lost my touch. Maybe you know what? Maybe I can't do this anymore.
I think people are going to start asking questions.
I would too. Guy can't get it done in the big moments. Debuting a new segment, I couldn't get it done. I'm Caleb Williams. I am the Caleb Williams of this show today.
That's bad news.
It's not a great way to start a Tuesday. That being said, it's the week 1 edition of the NFL News Dump. Producer Evan has I would say we would consider this the most trending stories in the world of football. We just react to them here. We did this all throughout training camp and preseason. Now we get to do it with actual football on the mind, actual football games to look back on. What is a part of the NFL News Dump here today?
George Kittle placed on the injured reserve. Brock Purdy's status up in the air for game number 2.
It's a huge blow. The team traded Deebo Samuel, right, in the offseason to Washington. Brandon Ayuk already missing time. A lot was being put onto George Kittle and to Ricky Pearsall to kind of lead this team offensively, to be the go-to pass-catching options for Brock Purdy. And now Kittle's placed on IR. They waived their kicker today because he stinks. I mean, Jake Moody, you want to talk about a waste of a draft pick? They used a 3rd-round pick on that guy.
I know,
Stinks.
It's crazy. He's bad. He's really bad.
You want one move that really boils down to why the San Francisco 49ers are in the tubes the way that they are? Using a 3rd-round pick in 2023 on a kicker that less than 2 years later is off your roster?
I also think they've paid the wrong guys.
They also took Trey Lance with a top 10 selection.
Yeah.
Hasn't been great.
It's been bad. It's been bad. They've also blown 2 Super Bowls.
You just love to remind everybody of that. I mean, it's true, but you just love to remind everybody.
Well, you asked me why they are where they are.
Yeah.
That's a big reason.
Blowing 2 Super Bowls? Yeah, I would say that's a big reason why they're in the mess that they're in, because they don't have a Lombardi trophy to look at recently and say, you know what, things are okay.
And they were up 10 at both in halftime. 10. They were up 10 at half in both.
So a huge blow for the 49ers.
Huge. Uptick in kickoff returns.
Wait a minute,
I
wasn't done.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to look at the 49ers schedule.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know you were done.
They are going to be without George Kittle this week against the Saints, next week against the Cardinals, the week after that against the Jaguars. So that matchup in 2 weeks, Cardinals 49ers, you would say it got a little bit easier for the Cardinals with George Kittle.
Certainly.
Okay.
George is a matchup nightmare for anybody.
Now you can talk about kickoff returns.
Uptick in kickoff returns in week 1. Seems that these new kickoff rules are working. And I got to tell you, I'm not a fan. I don't like them.
All right. So wait a minute. Before I share my thoughts, you feel very strongly about this.
Yeah, I just think, okay, so You're going to hate this take.
I mean, honestly, I hate most of your takes.
I don't love kickers in general.
Cut that out. Put that on the board. I don't know when we're going to use it, but I hate kickers. Just needs to be on the board.
And so now we have put the game more in the hands of the kicker to have this landing zone. And if they land it in the end zone, I get the ball at the 35. There will be 1 to 2 games this year where the kicker is going to massively screw this up and kick it into the end zone. They're going to get the ball at the 35 and have to complete 2 passes and kick a field goal and win a game.
You could make the argument that there was a mistake made late in the game last night.
Kick it out of bounds.
I would kick it out of the back of the end zone. And what we're talking about is on the play where they kicked the ball to, I believe it was Ty Chandler in the end zone for the Vikings. And
Kevin O'Connell
is standing there, and they clearly, and this goes to show you how good of a coaching staff and coach he is. They talked about this, and there was an already designed thing of, Ty, you're going to look at me, and I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. And because the kick was short enough to where a return was good, by taking it out of the end zone, they ran the clock, they got it under the 2-minute warning, and they ruined the Bears' ability to maneuver the clock a little bit. Kick the ball out of the back of the end zone. But in your mind, right now, you're trained as a special teams unit. I don't want to kick it out of the back of the end zone.
This week was a horrible week for kickers, too. I mean, think about the Atlanta-Tampa game just as it sat yesterday or Sunday.
Teams returned 118 of the 156 kickoffs for a 75.6% return rate. The last time the NFL had a higher return rate for a single week,
like 2006.
Week 17 of the 2010 season.
2010.
What grade are you in 2010?
Me? Okay. Let me work it back here.
I mean, do you want me to tell you where I was in school? Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, so you would have been, can I guess where you were?
You can guess where I was.
Were you a senior?
In
high school?
You're making me too old.
Okay, you were sophomore in high school?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore in high school. Okay.
The last time the NFL had kickoff returns at the rate that they did in week 1, I was a sophomore in high school. I turned 31 2 weeks ago.
And then for me, I would have been in 3rd grade.
Do you remember anything about week 17 of the 2010 season? Do you remember thinking to yourself, man, there's a lot of kickoffs this week?
Week 17 of the 2010 season may have been the Deshaun Jackson punt return.
You're right. It is in that range. Look it up. Look it up. We're going to completely derail us here. I need to know what happened in week 17 of the 2010 NFL season. While you're looking that up, I'm not surprised, because if you are a special teams unit, you need to teach your guys, we don't want to kick the ball through the back of the end zone. You get the ball at the 35. Chris Boswell hit a 60-yard kick the other day. If I gain 15 yards, I'm potentially in range to score 3 points. So I got to land it in that landing zone, and I have to try to stop them before they get to the 35. I have to try to turn that play into a net positive for me. And so because of that, you're seeing more kicks land at like the 1 to 5 yard line, because they want these guys to return, because they've put some emphasis on their special teams units to try to win that field position battle.
Some notes about week 17 in 2010. Cardinals lost 38-7. Finished up a tough 5-11 season.
I can't say I know much about that, because that was well before I moved
at Candlestick Park.
Wow, they played the 49ers when they were still playing at Candlestick.
That was not. It was 2 weeks after the Deshaun Jackson return.
Anything other notable happened that week?
Doesn't look like it.
Nothing's really jumping off the page at you as you scroll through the box scores?
Nothing's really jumping off the... Oh, the Jets took it to the Bills 38-7.
That's Mark
Finished
Sanchez.
off yeah, Mark Sanchez. No. Mark Brunell played for you guys that week.
What?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
He was the leading passer.
I just don't
week.
remember that.
Yeah, nothing really notable. The Steelers, 41-9 over the Browns.
The more things change, the more things stay the same.
I mean, the league looks pretty similar.
So that's the last time that we had a return rate this high, and I'm not surprised by it. These rules are to get more kickoffs, to stop having it be a play that just is non-existent. It doesn't matter. You can get up and and go get another drink or snack or something. They want there to be more exciting action, more exciting plays. And I think if you look at it through that lens, they've done what they wanted this play to do. I know you don't like it. I tend to like the strategy of it, of, okay, I know if I kick this through the back of the end zone, they're going to get it at the 35. I trust my special teams unit enough to make a tackle in space to make them be on the wrong side of the 35, to give me a net positive in the field position battle.
I just think you put too much on kickers.
Well, be better at your job. My fiance, I love this woman to death. It is one of my favorite things that she says, because there's some truth to it, but there's also like just some human element of it that she is just ignoring. But her belief is, if you're the kicker of a football team, it's your job. You have one job. Your job is to kick the ball well. She's like, you should never miss a field goal. You should never miss an extra point. And if the team asks you to kick the ball in a certain area, you should do it 100% of the time, because it's your job. It is your job to kick the ball. She's like, I go to my job. I got about 1,000 in my job.
I want to be very clear. I feel the same exact way.
And every time she says it, we'll be sitting on the couch. I'll have red zone on. Somebody will miss a field goal, and I'll turn to her and she'll be like, shouldn't have a job.
Could you imagine, in all seriousness, you like put yourself in the shoes of Teddy Bridgewater, who should have a playoff win, who went the length of the field in a playoff game where it was like 4 degrees, and then you ran out some kicker who missed from like 16 yards.
It was. I think it was inside of 25 yards. I mean, it was a chip shot, and he just didn't he doink it?
Doinked it.
I think he doinked it.
Think about the Bears. Mitch Trubisky should have won a playoff game.
Maybe if the double doink goes through, Caleb Williams isn't in Chicago.
No, that's a serious conversation. The Bears, by the way, would have gone to New Orleans the next week and won that game. That New Orleans team, frauds. We'll get into that next.
We ran out of music. We're not going to get into that on the other side. We're not going to get into the Saints being frauds on the other side. I don't know why you tease that. That's not what we're doing on the other side of the break. We ran out of music. The NFL news dump went so long.
Anyway, kickers, just do your job.
Do your job. Do your job. When we come back, 1 week in, is a past problem already rearing its ugly head for the Arizona Cardinals? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Son, do you know what time it is?
Your father and I were waiting all night for you to come home.
I'm sorry. So we could tell you that you're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. Wait, what?
Since your dad's a veteran, our whole family can join and get exclusive savings, discounts, and award-winning service.
Thank you. Now go to your room and think about what we said. All veterans and their families are eligible. Join today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
September 11th reminds us of a day when America stood under attack and stood together. We remember the victims, the heroes, and the everyday citizens who showed extraordinary courage. That same spirit of resilience lives in our Constitution. The Second Amendment protects our right to defend our families, our homes, and our nation. This is Michael with Restore My Civil Rights. If you've lost constitutional rights due to a past conviction, we can help restore them. For a free consultation, visit RestoreMyCivilRights.com. That's RestoreMyCivilRights.com.
Ooh, Del Taco? Yep, they got these new boxes that are loaded with my faves.
Hey, big boxes, come on, can I get a Del, yeah?
Del, yeah. What was that? Oh, I bring these guys everywhere. Really enhances the experience.
Del Taco's L Big Boxes now come with bigger burritos. Try the $5 Classico, $7 Mex Faves, and $9 Amerimex box. More food, more flavor, more value. Only at Del Taco.
Price of participation may vary.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program, Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Welcome back into the lunch break. Hey, make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app to take us with you on the go. We're also giving you a chance to win 4 tickets to go see the Diamondbacks. Pulling up the schedule here to make sure I say the right date. Just bear with me here. I don't want to make I've already made enough mistakes here on the program today with the music. So let me just make sure I don't make the mistake again. Saturday, September 20th.
I was going to say, I mean, you don't know who they're playing?
No, they're playing the Phillies. I just didn't know if it was the 19th on Friday or the 20th on Saturday for the day that we're giving away the tickets for. So I had to double check.
If you would like to go see the National League East champions, come into town.
Saturday, September 20th. We've got 4 tickets for you. You can go ahead and enter into win over on the KDUS AM 1060 app. Got to be registered, logged in while you're listening in order to enter to win. You can also get your tickets, dbacks.com/SGT. Producer Evan, I have a concern about the Arizona Cardinals, and this is different than my concern about the offensive line. This is different than maybe the concern about the lack of a pass rush. Because my concern about the offensive line, I think, fixes itself with the talent that the group has. My concern about the pass rush, I'm going to give them a 1-week mulligan. We did say it could take a little bit to get everybody up to speed. I'm not willing to say that that's a problem just yet. But I am willing to say that there is a problem in the wide receiver room. Because do you know how many catches there were to wide receivers not named Marvin Harrison Jr. in the game against the Saints on Sunday? You have a guess how many catches there were?
2.
You think less of the Cardinals' secondary receiving options than I do. Michael Wilson, 1 catch. Zay Jones, 1 catch. Greg Dortch, 1 catch.
I couldn't think of the Dortch catch. The only one I could think of was the other 2.
3 catches to wide receivers not named Marvin Harrison Jr. I think you all know what I'm going to say next, right? You all know the words that are going to come out of my mouth about this team ignoring all offseason. I'm screaming about Keenan Allen, screaming about the now newly retired Amari Cooper, screaming about options all over the place, saying this team, instead of drafting Walter Nolan, should have tried to draft Matthew Golden in the first round, get the number 2 wide receiver. I've been saying it. This team has put me through an emotional roller coaster, screaming it from the mountaintops. I gave in. I gave up. I said, you know what? You win. You win, Monty. You win, Jonathan Gannon. Clearly, you see something that I don't see as to why you don't need a number 2 wide receiver. Somehow, Michael Wilson and Zay Jones are going to be able to be those number 2 wide receivers. You win, I give up. And then players like Hunter Renfrow became available. And we did a list. We did a top 5 list of wide receiver options that were available. Deontay Johnson was available out there to be signed, picked up, brought into the squad. They sat on their hands. They didn't do anything. Here we are, week 1. And guess what? You don't have a wide receiver 2. You don't have a secondary option down the field. So when teams blanket Marv and they make you go someplace else, where are you throwing the football? You throwing it to Michael Wilson? You throwing it to Zay Jones? You're throwing it to Greg Dortch? I mean, from a targets perspective, the number 2 wide receiver in this offense is Michael Wilson. He got 4 targets. Zay Jones got 1, made his 1 catch. Greg Dortch got 1. He made his 1 catch. Michael Wilson at least got 4 balls thrown his direction. This team doesn't have a secondary option. And I know they love their tight ends. Trey McBride, Tip Ryman, Elijah Higgins. I get it. I get that they're going to run a lot of 12, a lot of 13 personnel. And they're going to have 2 tight ends and 3 tight ends on the field. They're going to have 2 tight ends in the backfield, flanking Kyler and the running back. I get it. I understand the way this scheme is working. But sometimes, and I have to go and look to see what the personnel breakdown was for week 1, but you're going to be in 11 personnel. And you're just going to have Trey McBride on the field, which means you're going to have 3 receivers out wide. And you're going to run plays where sometimes Marv isn't going to be open. Are we supposed to just throw our hands up and say, you know what? Defense got us. They covered Marv. Nothing else that we can do. Or are you supposed to have other options in this offense for Kyler Murray to deliver the ball to? And they just don't have it. And they ignored it all offseason long. All spring, all summer. Ignored it. They made 0 change to their offense. 0. Brought everybody back on offense. And they're running it back with the group that they had a year ago. So I took that as maybe I didn't know something. I didn't know something about Michael Wilson. I didn't know something about Zay Jones. That, last year was last year, but now another year in this system, continuity, it's a big word that we've used on the show, that they've used. Somebody's going to take that jump. Well, guess what? 1 week in, I feel the same about this wide receiver room. Marv may make that jump. Somebody's got to jump behind him. And I don't feel good about the options that this team has. You want to start talking about if this team's in a position come the trade deadline? Find yourself another wide receiver, please. Find yourself a secondary option. I understand you're going to get the ball to Trey. I understand that you run a lot of 12 and a lot of 13 personnel. That is not an excuse for when you run 11 personnel to not have choices, to not have options. And this team just doesn't have options outside of Marv. So here we are once again, starting another year, talking about this team fundamentally having a flaw on their offense, not having a number 2 wide receiver. And you know what? I see some people saying this is the problem with the scheme. If you just had a wide receiver 2, you could run this scheme even more effectively. Because now, when I'm in 12 and 13 personnel, I've got a lot to keep track of. I got to keep track of Trey McBride. I got to keep track of Tip Ryman and Elijah Higgins and the 1 wide receiver that's on the field, whoever it is. And I got to keep track of the backs out of the backfield. And then when you go to 11, and I have other options, and also Trey McBride's on the field, and Marv, and I have that wide receiver 2, and I have Michael Wilson and or Zay Jones as the wide receiver 3, and I have the backs out of the backfield. You put defenses in more conflict. They have to respect and defend more. It actually makes your scheme easier to run. It makes it easier to go to 12 and 13 if you're then more successful in 11. You set up more opportunities to do that. You keep the defenses off balance. And they're just not doing enough of it. And it's because I think they just don't have the personnel to do it. They don't have a wide receiver 2 that's going to be the Robin to the Batman of Marvin Harrison Jr. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've got one more before we are out of here today on a Tuesday. It's called The Leftovers. All the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarter. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, celebrate culture, community, and football. Join Phoenix Rising on Saturday, September 20th at 7 p.m. for Hispanic Heritage Night as they face off against Loudoun United FC. The first fans through the gates will receive free Rising maracas while supplies last. And the night features live mariachi bands and a special menu honoring the flavors of the valley. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Color, culture, rising together.
When is Kate getting here?
Should be any minute. She was on one of her Goodwill treasure hunts.
Treasure hunt? Oh, here she comes. And in an amazing new jacket. Ready to rock, guys? You definitely are.
Where'd you get that?
Don't you love it? I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Are you ready to score big with your finances? Right now, get $350 for opening a new MidFirst checking account. Just visit a branch near you or go online. Plus, register your MidFirst debit or credit card and enter to win a $1,500 shopping spree. No purchase necessary. The clock's ticking, so don't wait. Win big this season with MidFirst Bank. Visit midfirst.com for details. MidFirst Bank. True to you. Member FDIC.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KTUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KTUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KTUS1060.com and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up Tuesday edition here of the show. We got a fun one tomorrow. We got a top 5 list. I don't know what the top 5 list is about yet, but it is a top 5 Wednesday.
We're gonna have one.
Of course, it's a top 5 Wednesday. We'll figure out something. But it's a top 5 Wednesday. We'll have more football to start getting you prepared for. Wednesday's kind of the day where you flip the script, you start looking ahead. So we'll start getting everybody ready for the Cardinals against the Panthers. Coming up this Sunday, the home opener for the Arizona Cardinals. But right now, it is the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. Producer Evan puts them all together. We try to get to as many of them as we can here before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. What is on the docket today, my friend?
I don't know if after football last night, you flipped over to Dodgers-Rockies. But Tyler Glasnow had a no-hitter through 8 innings last night, ended up giving up a hit in the 9th.
So another Dodgers starter who had a no-hitter late. Did they win this game, though?
They did.
So they did not blow this one the way that they blew the game against the Orioles. Yamamoto, a no-hitter through 8 2/3. The Dodgers were up 3-0. The hit that broke it up was a home run solo shot to make it 3-1. The Dodgers then proceeded to lose the game on a walk-off 4-3.
Yes, that was so – we didn't even talk about that, but they couldn't get out of that. Couldn't get out of it. As soon as they pulled him.
They needed one out.
They couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. But last night, I flipped over to the game, right?
Yes.
You get a no-hitter alert through 8. All right, I'll flip over. It's 3-1. So somewhere along the line, Dodgers had given up a run.
Without a hit?
Without a hit. That's insane.
So, without knowing
Do you remember, was it the Pirates who lost the game while throwing a no-hitter a few years back?
No, the Pirates were in the game. They were playing the Miami Marlins.
And they won the game getting no hit.
The Pirates won the game while getting no hit. I forget. You want to? Okay, I'm gonna say a name out loud. I need you to check if this is correct. I believe the pitcher for the Miami Marlins was Henderson Alvarez. I believe he was on the mound. And he was throwing a no-hitter. Now, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe the name's not the correct name.
Henderson?
Well, if you just look up Miami no-hitter in loss, I'm sure it'll get you close to the game that we're referencing, or at least give. But I think that's who it was.
Give me 2 seconds.
I'll give you as much time as you need, because this is the only story we're going to get to the leftovers until we figure out this answer. But I believe the Pirates and I believe it was the Pirates and the Marlins.
Henderson Alvarez. No, that was years ago.
Okay, so maybe
that was in 2013.
I could be wrong. Are we both going to look this up?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. There's an instance of Miami Marlins being on the losing side. So Henderson Alvarez pitched a complete game no-hitter that he didn't leave the mound as the winner because they hit a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th.
Correct. Okay, so I right pitcher, I was not thinking of the right game. Although this was the game I was thinking of.
I think it was Reds-Pirates.
Reds-Pirates. Now this one I don't have.
I'm telling you, I don't know why. Yeah, Reds-Pirates no-hitter loss. Cincinnati does not allow a hit but loses to Pittsburgh 1-0.
Wow, Hunter Green was starting this game.
Yeah, and Art Warren.
They combined to not allow a hit, but they still lose the game. 3 walks and a ground out for a 1-0 victory. Pirates, when they did this, became the 6th team in big league history since 1901 to win, despite not getting any hits.
That's insane.
That's wild.
Bleacher Report went through and graded every quarterback. I figured I would walk you through.
Sure. Do we have enough time for this?
Kyler Murray. I'm not going to walk you through all 32. Okay. We're going to do Murray and then your top 5.
I mean, this coming from the guy who 2 weeks ago wanted the power rank, or last week wanted the power rank the entire NFL. So I don't know.
All 32 teams.
Right. So
imagine my confusion when you were like, we're power ranking the NFL. Not telling me you're giving me 5 and 3 HMs. You just said we're power ranking the NFL.
You know what? I forgot that you were in here last year when we did the power rankings, and it was 5 and 3. We did not call
them.
And
I looked back, it was like all 32.
We did not call them HMs at the time, but yes, there were 3 HMs.
Did you just go 1 through 8?
No, we went 1 through 5, and we called them honorable mention, but we didn't refer to them as HMs the way we on this show just casually throw around the term HMs, assuming that everybody knows. And I think most of the regular listeners know when we say HMs what we're talking about, but we don't actually say the full phrase at this point.
No,
we did.
I don't think I have since I've gotten on the show.
No, I think we've just constantly referred to them as HMs. So, all right, Kyler Murray graded C+.
Kyler Murray got a B.
I disagree. Watch the All-22. I disagree.
I also disagree. Josh Allen with the highest grade of the week.
Okay.
A+++. Lamar received an A-.
So those are 2 of my 5 quarterbacks.
Those are 2 of your 5. In case you were wondering, Bryce got a D. Bryce Young.
I didn't care, but thanks for informing me.
Of course. Burrow got a D. Dak Prescott got an A, which was surprising. Not one of your top guys. The lowest grade, by the way, was Bo Nix, who got an F.
Again, they didn't look good offensively.
I know.
They struggled.
I know. Jordan Love got an A. CJ Stroud got a C.
These are not, you're not naming any guys in my top 5.
I know. Some of these are shocking.
I know, but somehow
CJ Stroud didn't have any time. How are we giving him a C?
Remember when you said we're not going to do all 32? It feels like we're doing all 32. Feels like you need to get us back on the rails.
I apologize. Here. Patrick Mahomes got a B.
Okay.
He was in your top 5.
Yes.
And then your last one was Jaden.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels, who was all the way at the bottom. So give me a second. Jaden
Washington with a W.
got a C plus.
So the worst quarterback of my top 5 was the guy I put number 2. No.
You put Jaden at 5.
Joe Burrow got a D.
Oh, Joe Burrow got a D. Yeah, I put him at 1.
I think I had Burrow at 3 in my list.
In case you were wondering, by the way, the surprise of the week, Daniel Jones got an A plus.
I mean, I can't believe that we got to see that performance. That's going to do it for us. Tuesday edition of the program in the books. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome, he's coming up next. Everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.